Most people think shifting realities requires some secret ritual, a mastery of scripting, or a super secret technique using a hidden doorway. But the truth is, you've already mastered this skill, and you're so good at doing it that you don't even know you're doing it thousands of times a day, every single day. Every thought, every decision, every choice moves you into a new version of reality without you even realizing it. The only thing is, you're doing it unconsciously. And that's the part no one talks about. Shifting isn't some mystical, far off process. It's literally the way reality works and the way you move through reality. It's how you experience any movement or sequence of events at all. They're all different realities. You're shifting every second of every day. So if you want to shift consciously, if you want to actually land in the reality you desire, it's not about learning some complicated method. It's about finally taking control of the choices you're already making and making them consciously. And that's exactly what I'm going to talk about in this video. And I'm also going to explain how simple it can be. If you're new here, hello, I am your muse Traci. On this channel, I teach you how to peel back the false layers of programming and limiting beliefs to help you erase limits, embody your true power, and effortlessly manifest the life of your dreams. So let's get started in this video with the foundation. What does shifting realities actually mean? A lot of people get lost in the idea that shifting is about jumping through some invisible portal or waking up in a completely different universe overnight that makes it sound like something extreme, something rare, and something almost impossible. But Neville taught us that reality itself is a state of consciousness, and states are infinite, which means you're always moving through them every moment of every day. Every single moment you are in a state. If you're feeling loved, that's a state. If you're feeling rejected, that's a state. If you're feeling successful, broke, lonely, thriving, those are all states. And as your state changes, so does the reality you experience. You don't notice it most of the time because it happens seamlessly. You call it normal life, but it's actually infinite shifts happening constantly. So the real question isn't, am I shifting? The real question is, am I shifting consciously? So the reason we don't experience this shifting as some type of quantum leap is because of our expectations. We sort of, until you learn what I'm teaching in this video, we sort of expect to wake up and follow pretty much the same routine as yesterday, and then therefore we expect to pretty much experience very similar things to what we experienced yesterday. So it's not that the quantum leap isn't available to us. Of course it is. The problem is that we don't shift our attention enough to see it as a quantum leap. Think about a day when you wake up in a bad mood, you stubbed your toe, you spilled your coffee, traffic was worse than usual. By midday, you say to yourself, well, this is just one of those days. And you continue, with the unconscious expectation that, the world is against you and this is just one of those days. And what really happened? Everything seemed to conform to that story because that was your state of being. More annoyances, more frustration, more little disasters. Those weren't coincidences and they weren't just happening. That was you unconsciously shifting into the reality that matched your inner state. The state was created or chosen through your expectation, your unconscious expectation, and the evidence of that state of being filled in around you with more and more and more evidence. Now, on the flip side, think of a day when you felt unstoppable. You got good news, everything flowed, you even found a parking spot right in front of where you needed to go. People smiled at you, conversations felt effortless. That was also you shifting, this time into the version of reality that matched your empowered state. So you didn't perform a ritual or look for a secret doorway for either of those examples, did you? You didn't open a portal or chant affirmations for hours. You simply lived in the state you were in, and reality shifted around you to match that state, because that's how it works all the time. That is what Neville meant when he talked about states being infinite and all the evidence of the state of being. All of the evidence is contained within the state. So you shift the state of consciousness, and the evidence that matches will be there automatically. So then, what is conscious shifting then? So it's the deliberate act of choosing your state instead of letting old programming or unconscious choices choose it for you, i.e., you're choosing it consciously, deliberately. You've been conditioned to live from certain assumptions, such as, I never get what I want, love is hard to come by, money doesn't come easily, and those assumptions quietly steer your states of being, which means they steer your shifts. These assumptions create your shifts into these states of beings. That's why so many people feel stuck. They're unconsciously recycling the same realities over and over and over. It's not that it's not shifting. It's just shifting according to what you keep buying into and expecting for yourself because of the programming. But when you decide, no, I'm the operant power, I'm choosing the state of the version of me who already has what I desire, you instantly shift your state, and guess what? The evidence will follow. Neville said to desire a state is to have it, meaning the moment you claim it in imagination, the moment you embody it inwardly, you've already moved into that reality. The physical evidence may not appear instantly, but your state has shifted, and reality must conform. That's the law. So now let's clear up a few common misconceptions, because these keep people looping in doubt. I see this all the time in my one-on-one coaching clients. So myth number 1, shifting requires a special technique. Nope. You don't need a ritual, a perfect meditation, or a 10-page script. Those are just tools, and you can use them if they're helpful, but they're not required to shift, and they're not creating the shift. Again, they can help, but they're not what's doing it. You're doing it. The shift happens the moment your inner state changes, and you can change your inner state anytime you choose to, really. That's the truth. Myth number 2, you have to feel it 24/7. Again, not true. You will still experience doubts, ups and downs, distractions. All of these things are normal and not a problem, actually. The key isn't being perfect, because nobody is. It's returning again and again to your chosen state. If you are in the state and then you notice you're out of the state, well, then your only job is to move yourself back into the state. It's not to notice you're out, beat yourself up, and get swept away more and more from the state that you desire to be in. And this is what persistence really means. Check out my recent video about persistence, where I talk all about persisting and detaching as well. Myth number 3, reality shifts are rare and you have to learn how to do it. Nope, again, not true. Actually, they're constant, and you're already a master at doing this. Like I said in the beginning of this video, you're so good at doing it that you aren't even aware you're doing it, and you've always been doing it. You don't wait to shift, you're always shifting. The only choice is, again, will you keep doing it unconsciously, reacting, operating from the programming, all of these things that I've been talking about, or will you do it consciously? That's really the question. It's not, am I shifting? It's, can I now shift consciously in the state that I choose to be in? And the answer is yes, of course you can. So, yes, of course you can. Now let's talk about some practical ways to shift consciously. So, how do you start doing this consciously? Great question. Step number 1, become aware of your current state. You have to know where you are currently. Like I said before, notice that you're out of the state that you want to be in. You have to know that. That has to come first. Because if you don't know that you're out of the state that you want to be in, you don't know that you need to go somewhere different. So, step number 1, be aware of your current state. Notice how you're feeling. What assumptions are you carrying? Awareness is always the first step. So if you become aware of the state and, it is the state of being that you want to be in, perfect, carry on. If you're not in the state that you want to be in, then that's when you consciously choose to shift yourself into a different state of being through your beliefs, through your assumptions, through your thoughts, through your decisions, through your actions, right? It's all of these things that you're already doing. Again, don't fall into, okay, Traci, but how? No. You know how. Number 2, practical way of shifting your state consciously. Step number 2, I should say. Choose the state. So now that you're aware of where you are, choose the state of your desired reality. Ask yourself, if I already had what I wanted, how would I feel right now? What would I know to be true? What assumptions would I already be thinking were true? I would already be assuming. Step into that inner knowing. Step number 3, use your imagination to anchor it. Neville taught that imagination creates reality. So close your eyes and see the scene that implies it is done. Don't strain. Make it natural. You choose the scene by, figuring out something that feels simple to you to imagine. Something simple you would be doing if, your desired end was already here, if it was already a reality, a physical reality. It should feel easy to imagine, and it should evoke this strong feeling of it is done within you when you imagine this scene. Step number 4, return again and again, right? Because again, this isn't about being perfect, and this isn't about staying in the state for forevermore. Neville taught this too. The states are always changing. So don't put this unrealistic expectation on yourself once you do reach the state of your desired end, that now you have to stay there forevermore, otherwise you're failing. No, that's not true. It's just that you keep returning to your desired end state again and again and again and again. When old doubts creep in, you don't panic, you just shift back. It's like changing the channel on the radio. You don't get mad that the static exists or the other channels exist. You don't get mad. You don't need them to go away and never, pop up on your radio again. You just simply go, oh, that's not the station that I want to be set to. Cool. Let me put myself back on the station that I do want to be on, right? Same thing with your state of being. It's not a big deal. Okay, so let's talk about a simple example. Let's say you're manifesting a relationship. Instead of checking the 3D for evidence constantly, looking for your manifestation, you shift into the state of already being chosen, already being loved, and already being secure. You're not constantly looking for it. You know it's already done. It's already yours. You imagine a scene where your partner reaches across the table, smiling at you, and you feel the warmth of that love. You feel it real in this very moment. You don't need to wait for anything to feel this real. Every time doubt whispers, but they're not texting, you gently return, I already am the loved version of myself. That's the only reality I now choose to believe. And again, do the visualization, do whatever you need to do to anchor yourself in there. Again, this is consciously shifting, consciously knowing, oh, look, looking for a text and missing the text is not me being in the state of already having it. Okay, no big deal. I just accidentally got on the wrong station. So I'm going to consciously identify the station, the state of being that I want to be in, and I'm just going to shift myself there through whatever means are necessary, through a decision, through an imaginal act, through a reminder to yourself. Again, whatever works for you. They're all just tools to help you. So you figure out what helps you shift back. And then you shift yourself back into that state and you do your best to stay there. And then when you notice that maybe you fall out again, no big deal. Oops, I'm on the wrong station. I don't want to be on the wrong station. Let me shift myself back into the state of being or the station that I want to be on. And soon the external reality must reflect your inner state of being that you've shifted into again and again and again and again, because you've shifted your state and therefore your reality. So here's the truth. Shifting realities is so simple. You've been doing it every moment of your whole life. The only difference now is you get to do it completely consciously. You get to choose. Being a conscious creator is so much about learning to make clear, beneficial decisions and to break free of the limitations of your programming. There are no real limits. And yes, beneficial decisions. Learn how to make decisions that benefit you. It's a good skill to have. Stop waiting for some secret technique and start choosing your state. That's all it takes. If this video resonated and you're ready to go deeper, I'd love to help you inside my intensive 1-month coaching program. That's where we peel back the layers of old programming, release the doubt, and anchor you in the new version of yourself that effortlessly manifests your desires. So you can effortlessly shift yourself back into this state again and again and again. If you're interested, you'll find the link down in the description, also in the pinned comment. Of course, don't forget to like the video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.